So he said acting stupidly. And how dare a black man, no matter if he is the president, weigh in on the intelligence of a white man? That was the sub rosa. That was the subtext right there.
Right.
But more specifically and immediately, the law enforcement community got outraged because they figured you are the representative of the state and you should have our backs. The wrong lesson, I think, that the president then learned was can't really talk about race because his ratings took a dive. The poll numbers went in the tank. You know, and and black people especially evoke this, and I understand because we often have our backs against the wall, and we're not Barack Obama. Nobody has been him. Nobody's been president. But we've had positions of authority, and we know what happens when we dare venture out into arenas that make some of our white brothers and sisters uncomfortable. So he saw the result of that, but I want to say, but dadgum, everything he said made folk uncomfortable.
Right.
I want to nominate a representative for the Supreme Court after the death of Scalia.
Yes.
Makes them uncomfortable.
Yes.
I want to talk about ISIS. Makes them uncomfortable. I want to speak about going to the store. Makes them uncomfortable. The sexism against Hillary Clinton is pretty astonishing, but it's not marked in the same way that the racism against Obama is, right? I don't think that there's the ageism that's operating against Bernie in quite the same fashion because the younger people are going for Bernie in big ways, right? So in that sense, he's overcome that barrier, but the astonishing gender and racial elements that continue to persist presented us a curveball. And when they came with Obama, because Obama was so much more personally relaxed with black women, and at more tension with black men, even as his policies that he was willing to put forth benefited those black men to a certain degree vis-a-vis my brother's keeper, was an interesting jumble that was hard for us to disaggregate and disentangle. So it was hard for us to figure it out. But at the end of the day, no, none of them are getting the kind of pass that Obama did because Obama just walks down Air Force One a certain way. His body is just...
He does.
You know, but in the inelegant existential faux pas that have been created and in the tension.
Oh, you're going to get words to take back home.
Right. But in the tension.
You come to Michael, you're going to get words. When you're in the office tomorrow, you're going to say the inelegant. They're going to say, whoa, where were you? Tell them you were at the Schomburg. Go on.
But I'm saying that there is tension in both. I mean, in Hillary Clinton as well as, but she ain't claiming what Bernie Sanders is claiming, right? Because Bernie Sanders is making a specific claim about an engagement with a certain kind of romantic progressivism. And I don't mean that in a dismissive way. I mean that in a powerful, egalitarian way. So as a result of that, my trouble, of course, is that the specificity of race gets muted. And people say, well, once class equality comes into existence, racism will be destroyed. But Jackie Robinson was rich. And so was Joe Louis at one point. And they still got treated like niggas. So the point is, it wasn't about the dough. It was about your skin and what one writer called the epidermis fetish and the obsession with whiteness as the mark. So even leftists have been seduced by a certain belief that once class equality comes, and that ain't never coming for a long time.
Oscars, so look at the Oscars. All of the black people
rich white liberals ain't got no Negroes. Right, representing up in there. So my point is that even though I welcome the date, and if he should become president, that would be amazing to see what experiment that would become. But I think he is the explicit articulation of what that might mean.